Hey, what's up YouTube? So I just want to give a quick update on what's going to be happening in the next few days in the upcoming videos. So this is my warlock. I was able to get some tier gear on him. Let's see what he has. I'm not really used to the key bindings yet. So he has tier 2 helm, neck, tier 3 4-piece. Just a bunch of random gear. So right now I'm actually seated outside of Light's Hope Chapel, so I have all of these quests pre-done to turn in. So after turning in all these quests, you'll probably be like level 61 or so. So it makes the whole journey a little bit shorter to get to 70. I did hear that Arena was going to come out on June 14th, which is actually kind of soon because I kind of wanted to play the Gauntlet race and do Arena when it came out, but I'll probably have to just do Gauntlet and then do Arena on the side, so we'll see what happens. But basically, Retail WoW or TBC are very similar now because if you look at the UI and everything, you can use a lot of the add-ons that Retail has. So you have weak auras now, and this is just something that didn't exist before. Before, all your stuff would be down here, and you would have to look at it, or you would have to use Bartender and moved it up. So this is a pretty minimalistic UI, but there's Plater now, there's details for the recount. So you can pretty much think of like TBC WoW and Retail, if any of you guys play it, that they're pretty much identical in terms of how it feels now, but it's just like a lot simpler on the combat, or more, or maybe just a more in-depth on combat depending on what class you're playing. For this class personally, I think it's around the same, but you can see that there's a lot of different ranks of spells. In Shadowlands, all the ranks of spells are like, there's only one rank of the spell, but this one you can like down rank and put corruption on people. And yeah, so I don't really know how long it takes to get from 60 to 70. I think 60 to 70 is probably around like 40 hours or so. I haven't played a warlock in forever, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes. So the leveling experience, we're pretty much just gonna be doing dungeon cleaves the whole way through, and then because I think you need rep to unlock the heroic dungeons, and then we can do some 10-mans later on in the week for Karazhan. I'm not sure if there's a 2-minute anymore for it, but if anyone's played TBC before, or if you are going to play TBC, let me know in the comments down below. Currently I'm going to be leveling as Affliction. I know like there's a spec for like dungeon cleaving if you do like Hellfire and you go like full destruction and demo with demonic sacrifice, but the fact of the matter is our comp is kind of scuffed. I think we have an enhancement shaman or something, or Ellie shaman, and we have a rogue, so we actually don't have a mage, so we actually cannot AoE down the dungeons. So that's why I'm playing Affliction, even though it might seem like not the most ideal dungeon spec, but it's pretty much the only thing I can possibly play at the moment. But there are a lot of keybinds in TBC. A lot of people think like TBC is pretty like dumbed down, but in fact, well, I think it's mainly just it's a warlock. Like in Shadowlands, I played a priest, and I also played a mage, and there weren't that many keybindings. And I don't even have all the keybindings for my pet. I actually don't even know how to summon my pet right now, but I think I need to bind them or something. But yeah, this should be a pretty fun experience. I will be putting in some highlight clips of the upcoming journey, maybe take some screenshots, some clips of the opening portal. Hopefully the game doesn't lag too much and there's not too much, what's it called, not too many people at the start. But the beautiful thing about doing like the dungeon cleaving is you don't really need to see that many people. I also think the game is still on layers, which is kind of controversial because you really lose a lot of the sense of community with the whole layering system. With layers, that means that it pretty much makes it so that you don't see the same people on your server all the time, and I think they just like divide the realm into a bunch of different layers so that it's not too overcrowded. It's probably a good thing though, because if there's no layers, then I'm pretty sure that questing would just be like near impossible. Like imagine like 60 people trying to kill this one mob for the drop. But yeah, it will be interesting to see how it goes. I know a lot of people are probably playing it, and also I wanted to quickly discuss about some PoE numbers that I saw that were actually quite concerning, but let me talk about that. So I know a lot of people are kind of wondering like what's going on with Ultimatum League and how dead is it currently. I know personally for myself, it's kind of hard to buy some items, right? Because every time I try to buy items, I really see the supply of like high-end items and it's almost non-existent. Also, when you try to sell items, I mean, some of the high-end items actually sell a little better because there's less people playing, but I was actually curious, right? And then someone told me that the 24-hour peak for Ultimatum League in the last 24 hours was actually 25,000. And I was like, wait, what? How could that even be possible? 25,000, that's so low. So it's a little higher right now, 28,000 on Steam charts. Now, this does not seem like too high of a number, right? 28,000 all the way down from 149,000. Now I was like, oh, but it's already like 6 weeks into the league. Maybe like people are just tired of playing it, because I think we are like more than halfway through the league now. Because I'm on build diary 45 already. So I was like, oh, let me just look at what it was like last league, right? So last league, if I look at it, around like 6 weeks into the league, I'm not even sure what time Ritual League came out, but anyhow, should be around like March 1st, right? So March 1st, you see that there's still around like 40,000 people playing compared to like 30,000 right now, or 28,000 or 25,000 right now. And that's just a pretty big drop in terms of players that I didn't think was actually going to be that big. Now, I know there's like some charts on like Reddit from like probably a couple weeks ago that showed that Ultimatum League wasn't really doing that bad. And maybe it wasn't doing that bad then. But this league, it really showed that it was just the overall lack in content really led to this like huge drop off. I know a lot of people in my chat or like people I know personally that just say, "Oh, there's really nothing for me to do anymore. There's like no ways to grind for money. There's no like new builds I really want to try." I know there's the Hate Forge build, but some people just don't like that build, right? And then it's mainly just the lack of things to do with your top end build. Like you don't have any challenging content out there with Delirium. Ultimatum League, I honestly believe was like a pretty mediocre league in terms of like adding depth to the game. It was fun in that it was kind of like a loot explosion with a bunch of mobs, but you really can't have the longevity there with just like random items dropping. And like to be honest, like through this whole experience, we're now in like the 5th week of the league. Like seeing like these random rares as one of the rewards to pop out from Ultimatum is just kind of disappointing, right? Like I don't want to see like a pair of boots with no influence with like 60 life and dual res. Yeah, that might have been cool on the first day or first weeks, but now like 5 to 6 weeks in, the Ultimatum League just does not scale with any sort of progression. You can't progress the Ultimatum League in any meaningful way. The best part of the Ultimatum League was honestly the inscribed ultimatums, but at this point in the league, it is so dead, the inscribed ultimatums market, that for anyone trying to do profits from running inscribed ultimatums and taking on a risk, it is pretty much near impossible. Now, I stopped doing inscribed ultimatums like a week or two ago, and I was running the live search thing that would whisper people once it showed up that inscribed ultimatum had popped up. And even during like peak time of EU, I was unable to even find like one inscribed ultimatum or two to pop up over the course of an hour or so. So I could only imagine how bad it is now. So I can understand why the drop off is so great after like the 5th or 6th week, and it really makes sense. But luckily, we have the Gauntlet race, which should inject some more player base back into PoE. Gauntlet race is a lot better managed this time because it is part of an actual PoE event league rather than a private league that they had to crowdfund and raise money to have a bunch of slots. So that's always nice to see. But the thing to conclude from Ultimatum League is that they should just learn from their mistakes, try to make a league with a little more depth to it. Even Ritual is more fun because at least you got to choose more meaningful rewards. Ultimatum League, you were forced into seeing these rewards, and it honestly just felt pretty bad. And there's no endgame boss of note. The Trial Master was way too rare in my opinion, and just a pretty bad experience overall regarding the Trial Master drop. And I feel like the biggest thing overall for me personally for why Ultimatum League did not have the sort of longevity I could see it having is not shuffling the Atlas. Not shuffling the Atlas, I believe, is like one of the biggest crimes ever. Not like a real crime, right? But it's just mind-boggling to me why you wouldn't hire someone to actually just move around the Atlas. Like you could have like Haywork Hamlet being a more unique region instead of just running atolls. Like a lot of people associate like certain maps like Lexajoris with Burial Chambers, New Vestir with dunes, Valdos with Canyon. It would be nice to have the maps in a different place, right? Even though it's not like a big change, it still adds some freshness so that we aren't just running a tolls all day long. Like, it just happens that Haywark Hamlet is the best region for a lot of content for essences and ritual. So we just end up doing the same maps over and over again, and that's just not the best idea of fun. And it's just such an easy concept, right, to reorder the Atlas. Maybe it's a lot harder than I assume, but I would imagine it's not too bad. So I hope that next league they could do that. But overall, I hope the next league has more depth to it. I still really enjoyed it overall, but it's just sad to see how much the player base has dropped off. And it's not even like, it's barely halfway through the league. But I guess that is to be expected since it's an expansion league. So I just want to know everyone's thoughts about it, and if anyone's watching the video has any thoughts, because I know from my perspective it's kind of skewed because I do play the game quite a bit compared to the casual player. So maybe the casual player does enjoy the league and I'm just like completely out of touch. So let me know in the comments below what you think and what you think about this league and what they should change about it and learn from it for next league. Anyhow, I hope that everyone enjoyed like me going over my character real fast in TBC, what I'm gonna do, and going over kind of my own like synopsis of the Ultimatum League. I do like the league. I really enjoyed the inscribed ultimatums and the fact that you could take on such great risks. Taking on risk is always fun in the game, and it's kind of like crafting, right? If GGG believes that we should close our eyes and exalt the item, right, then I guess it's the same concept as why not let us run the mirror ultimatum and lose our items because we DC or something. It's pretty fun that way. Even if you don't DC or you have a support bot DC, it is always fun to take on the risk. I personally lost someone's headhunter in Ultimatum League, and that would probably be the highlight of my league. And I also ran a mirror inscribed ultimatum for one of the most expensive items, and it was really thrilling. And I feel like that sort of dopamine rush is what people like from the league and gambling and stuff like that. But just let us spawn the Trial Master a little bit more and have some sort of progression for the league mechanic, and that's all I could ask for. Anyhow, I hope everyone enjoyed this video showing my thoughts about the league and introducing my new character's journey in this game. He's currently level 70, and yeah, hopefully it gets to 70 pretty fast and I can showcase some dungeon action on this character. But if you like the content, be sure to like and subscribe. I'll be streaming every day and I'll be documenting my entire character's journey on TBC. Let me know if you actually play the game and what class you're playing, because it's always nice to see what everyone is trying out. But that's going to be it for me. Thanks for watching, and I hope you find more mirrors and exalts than I do. And gold now.